This conference will now be recorded.
Okay. This is the April 9th meeting of the State Tree Commission. It's a virtual, the meeting can be picked up virtually if you require. And the notice of the open public meeting law has been, for this meeting, has been satisfied. A copy of the notice sent to the Ashford Park Press and Coaster, posted in Town Hall, filed with the Township Clerk. Meeting will be recorded and available on the YouTube channel. Would you call the roll, please? Oh yeah, Colton's not here.
That'd be you.
Kronheim,
Here.
oh boy, Gaudette's here. Gordon, did you know Gordon's not here? Lutz is not here. Armstrong's here. Our friendly Denley councilman,
Not here.
not here. And Dangshit, how do we pronounce that?
Which? Danishgar?
That's me, thank you.
Okay. How do you say your name?
Danishgar.
Okay,
Danishgar. I want to see
Yeah.
it written down.
The kids call me Dr. D because they don't want.
Yeah, that sounds.
Yeah.
No.
That is fine.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, welcome to the
Circus.
circus.
Okay.
Anyway, we're going to forego the minutes and we're gonna move the approvals to the next meeting. So, you're up, my friend. Tree permits and removals and all that
All
good
right.
stuff.
As I mentioned at the last meeting, there has been an uptick in residential permits, both construction wise, mostly swimming pools, tennis court construction, some small additions. There are projects in the pipeline, both planning and zoning board, but they're the next 2 to 3 months are going to be busy from that. There is a relatively large single-family residence construction that is going to start soon on 716 Corley's, which is on the southwest corner of Corley's and South Edgemere. In other words, it's across the street from the two on the north side,
Wait, southwest corner.
South Edgemere and Corley's.
I know, it's right by where I live. I'm trying to figure out where it is. There's the bridge. You go over the bridge.
Off of Corley's. If you make a
Right, Corley's.
right-hand turn on the South Corley's, the
That's
South
right.
Edgemere from Corley's, right there. It's that heavily wooded lot. All the proper forestry was done by Mr. Michael Amana, who is about the best in the state, maybe one of the top 3 or 4 in the Northeast. An awful, awful lot of very bad trees from a standpoint of main stem cavities, rot at grade.
So is this a piece of land that's right on the lake?
Yes, it is. There are wetlands in there. He has obtained, the builder has obtained an LOI from the DEP for that. It has been marked out. I visited the site 3 or 4 times. The mark out is absolutely 100% correct. It is designated also as hardwood wetlands, and the DEP has said that what he is proposing is permitted. It's going to look a lot different.
So it's on the south side of Corley's? Or the north side of Corley's? South side of Corley's has a little house there and only this little triangle.
No, there's a ranch house.
A little house.
Well, it's pretty, it's bigger than you think it is. It's
They
a-
wanted to do an addition.
That
They got
is,
sold
that's totally different from us. There are 2 lots over there.
They're gonna put a big house on it, where they're gonna put the new transmission?
Yeah, that's what I was
No, 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 no,
Yeah,
no,
I
no, no,
was
no,
thinking
no,
that.
you're on the wrong end.
Okay, so.
It's off of Corley's. In other words, it's the,
Yeah,
it's where South Edgemere starts.
But that is,
Yeah, that is.
oh,
No,
you're
the
going,
bridge
okay, the
the
north,
bridge-
so
the bridge-
west, farther west.
Oh, you're talking on the.
I'm talking right where,
Oh.
you don't have to worry about that.
I know where that is. Yeah, isn't that wet, my point, isn't that wetlands?
No, that's why he did his due diligence.
Yeah.
I read the reports are correct. very thorough.
John Brockle,
Oh, he's already been calling me about it.
he's been upset about that too. He said that was
Well, I'm
never
sure.
zoned for this.
It is, the DEP has spoken. They say it is a permitted activity. And at this point in time, there are 25 trees proposed for removal. Of the 25, 22 are dead, deceased, decayed, dying, cannot be returned to habit. They're no-brainers, and they are a threat
So
to the
it's
public
three.
right away, so that's the end of it.
That's that little lot by Emil Strauss' old
I
house.
don't- I don't
house.
know.
Yeah.
That long house,
Yeah.
Yes,
which
It
is
was
in
just
inner
one,
Lincoln,
it's-
but the lot is in Ocean.
It was one lot, they're trying to make it two lots.
Yes.
the tax map shows a
It's
separate
right
distinct
by
lot. All that's, all
And
that
there
is,
was a pipe and they moved the pipe.
I don't
the
know
whole
about
thing,
that, but
Yeah.
all I know is that what they're proposed, the DEP has given its blessing to, so that's that. The large projects on, well, hey,
It's wet.
well, actually, the elevation center of lot is 16 or 17 feet above the lake elevation, so it's up.
It
It's
is.
pretty high. Yeah.
So, but that's the
Especially
biggest
if-
one. The project on Roosevelt is ongoing, and it looks like they're starting to do more work.
Roosevelt, and remind me again where that is. Roosevelt.
The traffic light, if you come out of here, you go north, it's first traffic light, make a right-hand turn, there's a good-sized project going on.
Got
Oh,
it.
yeah.
Thank you. That's-
That-
I like directions.
Well, hey, sometimes you gotta, turn left at the bar, that's.
Yeah, you go.
Which part?
Any of them. I suspect that, I'm surmising they're getting ready to go, because there's a lot of heavy equipment showed up last week. All tree removal, everything has been done there, they have complied with all silt fencing. So that's that, and, you see, the residential tree permits are ticking up like you would expect them to do based on the time
The
of year.
sun is out.
Yeah, the sun is out, and
Sun's out.
so, but that is really all I have. JCP&L, I think, is almost finished with their transmission, sub-transmission trimming. This was the line that goes down the Conrail track, and it's a Lego that comes across Darlene and goes into the substation to the west. I'm sorry, I apologize, I can't think right where that one is, but I believe they're done unless they have some go backs. And I lit them up pretty good for cuts on 4 or 5 trees when we got a resident complaint. So don't bother sending that crew back here if that's what you're gonna do. And
Good.
Mike from Aspen looked at it and he called me back and said, I apologize, you're right, we got a meeting about that, that won't happen again. Good enough, thank you. It wasn't any, it wasn't anything that ruined something that we would really want to run out of town with tar and feather. It was poor pruning cuts, over pruning, but
Not like the state.
no, God, no. So that's really all I have, unless anybody has any questions for me. Good, I hope that was the answer. There you go, sir.
There you go. And timely.
Okay,
Okay.
we're getting there. Actually, one of the crazy things, or one of the things we're gonna do, we need a vote, I need a motion to approve up to $700 for our annual to purchase the trees for our annual Arbor Day tree giveaways. You may or may not know, we've been
Norm already
doing,
told me all about it. I know the full list.
well,
What'd
full
you
list
think
for
of the
now, but
list?
we've been doing this for probably 30 years now.
Yeah.
I was surprised gum trees were on it.
That is the black gum. No
Doesn't make
sticky
sense.
balls.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. That's why I was surprised.
Lisa
Okay,
sylvatica.
cool.
Sour gum,
Gesundheit.
Tupelo,
That was my
black
only
gum,
question.
same tree. Good tree.
That's my
Brilliant,
only question.
brilliant red fall color. Brilliant.
Hmm.
And likes to speak well.
That's better.
Yes, and most of that half of the town, yeah.
Mhm.
Sounds good.
Anyway,
So I had a question for Norm. He would really can give me an answer, but every year we do this tree giveaway. Any tracking on what happens to any of this?
Be careful what you wish for.
Okay.
That's how you get elected.
And we'll,
Well, A, and B, lots of
Actually-
people are getting trees where they don't actually have space to plant in the first
Actually,
place.
if you, to some extent, some purpose of this is not necessarily to have, we'd like to have all the trees survive.
Yeah,
But if we educate a little bit
about trees.
about trees and try to appreciate it, then
Steve, I do cut some down on
yes,
occasion.
I'm sure.
They're probably about this big.
Well, remember one of the,
And they say, yeah, my kid got that in 1980.
Ken Lutz redesigned his whole backyard
Yeah,
because of one of those trees. that was-
I have a beach plum that's growing now, and I'm like, oh, I might not have been.
That would have been a spot for it, yes.
Because I was fully landscaped, like, okay.
Yeah, I mean,
fair, so if it's
Yeah.
treated as an educational opportunity.
to some degree,
It is
yes.
at this point, we would
Okay.
like to expand it and
Okay.
do it differently, but we probably.
But if we're giving out 500 trees, who wants to keep track?
Well,
Who's
No,
gonna
but I would-
volunteer to keep track?
Yeah, yeah,
Well, that's.
I can't, I'm not a member
Well,
of
you
this.
could do it as part of the conversation, and this is a different conversation. I think you just want to get a motion for this right now and the approval, so why don't we stay with this and then we can.
We've got
Well,
about
then we can-
another 20 minutes that
I've got
we can work
something,
through
we
this,
can,
okay?
conversation we can.
well, very simply, we could go to the fourth graders and say, remember when you got a tree, how many of you still have it? How many of you, and just get a,
That'd be a really cool thing to tie into Arbor Day.
yeah,
Yeah,
Yes,
There's-
good. This
there's
fall.
a-
well,
There's a tracking way for you.
The town newsletter, they could post it, who has the oldest
yeah,
give
yeah.
away
Well,
tree in
if-
their
if-
yard.
if you're gonna do
Let's
that,
see who
there's probably two
responds.
things that we might want to do if we're gonna go in that route. You could say, who still has your third grade tree?
Right.
And then you could do who's got the biggest tree in town, you know? My tree's bigger than your tree, and
So
we did that years
They
ago.
did.
We could
Yeah.
also set up, we could probably set up pretty easily some kind of
I just gave us work, I'm sorry.
some kind of a tracking,
Yeah.
some kind of a tracking thing on our
Well, you
website,
know,
on our webpage.
The
If you
guy
took a
sitting
tree,
at the
please
table
don't
with the
use the
computer
word.
could probably do that very easily.
Yeah, probably.
If we have the right software, I'm sure there's a way to track a tree, I'm gonna we're giving you a tree, and we're gonna want you to now check in 6 months and tell us how
Well,
it's
I
doing.
could,
I think they do that in Red Bank, because we've been giving away a lot of trees.
Yeah.
I will ask Forrest
Yes,
Kaufman
with these.
to see.
I wonder if we could put them into Tree Maker with a,
Oh, I would not,
Tree keeper, you mean?
tricky
Yeah,
for
tricky.
me. Perhaps eventually, but I like a really user-friendly one that everybody can just get in, and we can do we can do it like an adopt a tree. And say, we're giving you this tree now, you're adopting it, and we're gonna check on it, we'd like to check on it, see how it's doing, if you fed the baby, that kind of thing, and track it, I'd love to see what Red
Well,
Bank
the
does.
first thing you do is, if this is possible,
It's good.
you just assign the tree a number. No, a number,
I'm kidding.
start with me. 26, 14, 15, so forth and so on. And get an address where it is. You do it that way, but I will find out what boards, if we are.
Yeah, if there's a way
And
to
we've been
track.
giving away in the neighborhood, 150 to 200 every year for the 20 years I've been there. That's a lot of
Yeah, I
trees.
mean, I've been told by folks and people who've done that it's like 1/3 get planted kind of a thing. Right?
Yeah,
It's a lot,
Well,
but
if you're getting, for that kind of planting and the care they're gonna be given, if you're getting a 33% survival rate, you
That'd
did
be good.
great.
Yeah, that's-
Yeah.
no,
that
no,
would
she
be
said
great.
33% planted.
No, I understand that, I ignored that. Well,
Well,
if you get 33% of the 33 that went in the ground, you.
That's not
it's
bad
still
either.
for $700,
Yeah.
that's a lot of bang for your buck,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the only reason I asked.
Ladies-
Somebody could come around and say, this money, what,
I hate
is
to
it a good use of
interrupt a
this?
good time, but could I get a motion in a second, please?
I'll motion. Patty motions. Or who seconds?
Okay,
I do.
Okay, Pat seconds.
and a roll call, we've got Armstrong, Cronheim.
Hitchcock.
I
and
can't,
Gaudette.
so,
Aye, aye.
You want me to do it?
Do it.
Even if everybody says aye.
Yes.
Yeah,
You want to do it like that?
Yeah, do it.
Okay. All in
Yeah.
favor?
technically,
Aye.
it should be, technically it should be in the minutes, which is what we usually kept to the idea that if we're voting money, we
yeah,
record it, otherwise.
you know what, you probably should do that by name,
Yeah. Okay.
because you are
All right.
spending.
Gaudette,
Yes,
Vanderstar,
Yes.
Cronheim,
Yes,
and Armstrong.
Yes.
and that gives us a quorum, so we're good. Okay,
so I have something,
Anything else?
yeah, Patty, you have the floor.
do you have anything else on the agenda to get through?
CFPM,
Okay,
and I don't know what,
CFMP.
CFMP, and I don't know what Norm had in mind of that.
I think it's just a matter of Ted's getting paid by Tracy. There was just an issue with the tax numbers, or his company was changing tax numbers, and Tracy in here hopefully working that out. I think the grant approval and all of the hours we put in got into the DEP. So everything should be proceeding smoothly with that.
Okay.
Speaking to that, we did, and I was bringing Ted, I did say Ted instead of Ted.
Yeah.
So the CFMP, I think we want to make sure it's on the website and accessible for everybody who wants to see it. Because right now, when I go on the Shade Tree website, I see the old tree canopy, and I don't see, it's hard to find the new stuff. So I'm gonna try and meet Tracy and see that it's front and center so people can see it. So they don't call me and say, where is it?
And also, so they can understand the importance of
Yes, and how thorough it was.
Yeah,
How
yeah,
it's laying.
okay. How many friggin' hours we
Yeah,
put
it's a
in?
lot coming from you, Bill, thank you. It was a lot of hours, a lot of time, but it was different than other ones because it talked about urban communities, which never was done. We had a lot of stakeholder meetings, we had the students involved, and they actually did a video showing the importance of trees, and they won first place in the climate awards, and they were given a trophy by First Lady Murphy. So it had a lot of benefits, and what it basically did though was make some suggestions that the council signed off on, and I'm not, they say they've read it and are familiar with it, but I think, we'll see. Because two of the suggestions were ordinance changes.
Oh, yeah, there's,
Yeah.
yeah, and that, you gotta be careful exactly how that's done, because that did not necessarily follow the prescribed sequencing as to how they were proposed, introduced, and whatever else, but I believe that that has been addressed.
Because Dave basically, our town manager said, put it in the CFMP, put it in, and he said, we signed off on it.
Well,
now the
but the
conversation-
problem is the manner in which you have to, by what the law is, introduce ordinances, now you have to change it.
Well, this is just a recommendation.
I know, but
What
Well,
ordinance?
Okay, so the ordinance is the ones that we've been talking about. The one ordinance is that if a tree dies in the right of way, that we'll take it down and we'll pay for it.
that's not, that is not anywhere listed in an ordinance, anywhere.
No, it's not. It would be a new order. It's a recommendation for,
Well, I don't even think that has to be an ordinance,
but
because,
we have it now that it has to be taken,
Yeah.
that the homeowner has to pay for it.
well, right, and we've all, guys like me, we've always been taught, real simple, who owns the dirt? Your tree,
We own the dirt,
there you go,
but that's not what the
But
law
that's not
says.
there you go.
Yeah.
Okay,
So I'm saying we need
yeah,
to
But
fix that.
in other words, the courts recognize that.
Right, but right
So-
now, we don't have people are unaware of it, and we have a lot of trees not being taken care of. If people knew they didn't have to pay for it, then maybe we would get more informed about trees, and they would be able to, be more on top of this. So it isn't just you having to ride around your car, looking at everything. We might be able to actually have a conversation and relationship with homeowners who want their trees taken down. Some of these dead trees taken down.
Well,
just trying to build.
Well,
support
I
what we're
understand
trying
what
to
you're saying. And there are a number of municipalities where they make the homeowner responsible for the maintenance of the tree in the right of way. And I think that's a really bad idea, because somebody's gonna get killed.
do. Right, so we want to make it so that.
And we are now we're maintaining the trees in the right of way. But the problem is, they didn't get a line item in this year's budget. So there's no money. But they have been told, and this came to me by the powers that be, Shade Tree Trust Fund is off limits.
Because.
It's off limits. Just to pick at. So they're gonna have to figure it out. And there are some things that I do know, but I can't elaborate on.
I understand. So
Just-
this
What's the
will be an
other one?
ongoing, the other ordinance is that we shift so that we don't, that the town, we'd like to make it so that the town can pay for, and we can use the shade tree for this. We can take trees, put them on people's property, just off the right of way or wherever it makes sense to put the tree on the other side of the sidewalk. We'll pay to put it in, we'll pay for the tree. They have to maintain it, and it's like a 2-year period, whatever. And that's a recommendation.
That is, I know, I can tell you, we are doing that. And
Right.
it's working.
Few towns do, and that piece also, talking with environmental commission, talking with planning and zoning. They're doing a lot of complete street works, there's money, there's also that, which is big state money for this, if they want to make trees and shade tree part of that. So this is something that's going to be more comprehensive, where trees are part of that, but we gotta change that ordinance. So these are the things
That
that
would
is a
probably-
recommendation we're going to be making to the council
I'm guessing
to suggest.
that will probably, I don't think that is going to go into the tree protection ordinance, because that is really aimed at residential. Look, you got 2 tree ordinances in this town.
Right.
2381 is residential tree protection. And there are sections within that. And then the land use ordinance. Now, the biggest disparity is in land use. If you take down a 10-inch tree, you've had a problem, I'm taking a 10-inch tree down,
Right.
and you don't have room to plant a new tree,
I get
you
it.
pay into or you choose not to, you pay, the option is to plant or pay, payment in lieu of plant. Okay, you pay in $750. Now, if you take a tree down that's over 30 inches in diameter, and you don't want to plant the 4 required trees, because that's what 30 to 39, you pay 4 times 750, $3,000. Now, if you're a developer, the land use ordinance, this is primarily, the replacement schedule is 1 for 1. Take a 12-incher down, you owe me a 12. Take a 30-incher down, you owe me a 12, 1. The payment schedule is 350.
So they would schedule
350
this works.
and 750, okay, I can swallow that. But 350 and $3,000. So we're trying to do that. I'm working on it. Suggestion is to possibly not break it into as many size
Go classes.
classes, thank you,
Yeah.
as we have in the residential one, because it would become just unwieldy. You couldn't do it. But say from above 6 to maybe, and I'm pulling this out of the air, 18, then 18 to 36 or 40, and then above that. So this one now becomes, see, 2. Maybe this is the 1. This one goes to 3, and the big ones, we get 4 or 5.
So the
And we increase the payment, the minimum of $500, or possibly go to 750. So we would get 750. Here we get 15, and up here will be close. Because when these big development sites, there are 2 accepted ways that you can account for the trees. You can take parcels and count. Okay, you take 100 by 100 square, and you count what's in there.
And
Then you do the
multiply how many
multiplier.
squares.
Or, correct, or you actually have to go out physically, tag them all. And that really gets involved.
Yeah.
But the 32 acres, they did do that.
Is 32 acres, no, I believe that was done by parcel.
Was it?
But that you can't just take a look at the map and go,
Yeah.
well, hell, there's no trees over
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
And they're like, nah,
We're
nice
gonna
try.
count that parcel.
They want, from a topo, they want to,
Yeah.
okay. These 3 sections are very heavily wooded. This one's not so much. There's hardly anything here. We'll go 2, 2, and 1, and then they average it out. That is the accepted forestry practice. And it actually comes pretty damn close from
Right.
what some folks that do a lot of this have told me. All right, that's my 2 cents.
What's the time window
I'm sorry, 4?
from when tree removal happens, to time to replace? Yeah.
Okay. Residential tree permit is good for 90 days. And it should be longer now.
Yeah.
That's something we are going to change too, because if, like this winter, if
Yeah.
I gave you a permit in November,
It has to be weather dependent.
yeah, well, no, that's what can happen. It can happen in the summer. You get a hurricane in here and, okay, all bets are off. I'm 6 months backed up right now. On any construction project, it is any construction project. The tree removal window is for the duration of the project. Project takes 2 years, then they have to plant at the end. And what I do, let's say they're completing on June 15th or July 1st. I don't want to put a lot of trees in, and, July and August are gonna die. I'll give them until whatever.
Right.
Or like if it's late in the season, I'll give them to 1 June of the following year. But they better be in, they better be the right size.
Yeah.
Because I haven't made them take them out. No, these are no good, get them out of here.
Speaking of that, what happened, what did they just do to in front of Staples along the?
Oh.
Yeah, that whole.
I think they plowed there was rocks there and they plowed them all up. I think it was just shrubs there.
No, there were trees.
I would assume they're gonna.
None of them
replant.
looked decent, but there were trees in that.
The problem, they plowed the snow and all
Oh.
that, and they cleaned it, something just.
There's so much salt that's gonna be on these trees now that we ought to,
I would assume maybe they're gonna, hopefully.
you know what? I don't even know who I'd go after for that.
Doesn't Stoll own that
Well, yeah,
property?
yes.
But you
Don't
know what?
necessarily go after Mr. Stoll.
Yeah, no, I
call
understand.
Mr. Stoll.
I
Want to be
brought
part
it
of
up
the new
about
bridge.
Lester Glen.
Mhm.
There's not a tree on that property anymore, and it should. New car dealers don't want no trees, but they should still be there.
Not only they don't,
And I did bring that
not
up.
only they don't want any trees, but they tend to show cars and park them on the landscaping.
Yes, they do.
Right. Yes.
Why I like stormwater utilities,
Yes.
because they get penalized in another
You
way.
park on your
because they
grass,
don't
you
plant
get a
trees,
ticket.
Or incentivized.
Then why don't we give a ticket to the guys that bought Ocean Auto Party that want to put the electronic sign in and are parking their vehicles on that little strip of ground and grass in between? For some reason,
Well, you
There's-
call it, I'll tell you what, if
there's a lot
you
of
call code enforcement and get it to Ken Peasley, he will go and get them.
I've spoken to Donna about it about 3 times and she,
You want to talk to Ken Peasley. He's good. He's ex-lieutenant.
well, I don't know if Donna has been twisting, but every time I've asked him about something, it usually gets done.
Oh, Ken. He's good.
You can bring up the trailer on your street too at the same time. It'll take care of
No,
that.
it was gone. It's been gone recently.
No, it's been.
Well, let's move this along.
So
Anyway.
anyway, the reason I was bringing up these 2 ordinances, because
Yes.
as you all recall, I wrote just a draft
Mhm.
for conversation, start the conversation going. After the CFMP, in fact, when we presented the CFMP, the first question was, well, where's your tree plan? Well, we had to do this first, because this is setting the groundwork for what the tree plan is gonna be. So All right, so I drafted a tree plan that had some sites and areas for planting trees. And most of them were sort of bigger areas that would require grants and public-private partnerships as well. So I'm creating an urban forest and Blue Acres on the Blue Acre property, nurturing the forest and letting trees, some of them grow on the Blue Acres property down on the border of where Deal is and that behind the, I always have the name of the street. You know where I mean, where the homes had to be, where the senior citizen housing had to be moved because of the flooding. Right.
All the way
This is
along
public,
Poplar Brook.
letting that be a part. There were a few places from stakeholder engagement and comments that we got from everyone that we talked to, all the watershed commission people and all these folks, and that was, so I came up with a draft. And it had the section of the ordinances in it as well. You all have seen it. Zoning and planning has seen it, EC has seen it, Dave Brown has seen it. And Norm, I talked with Norm and said, do you want us to decide tonight if we want to, show this draft to some of the council, say, hey, this is what we've got, and it's, we'd like to.
Probably
we'd like
wouldn't
to do
hurt.
that.
Probably wouldn't hurt.
Well, Norm thought it was a good idea and wanted me to run it all by you, and I could certainly
Do it.
just give it to the mayor and say, this
Do it,
is
I mean,
what.
if you
Because
keep
they've been asking, it's like, all right.
Nobody may remember it but if you keep pushing it, eventually it'll click into somebody's head.
Well, they keep saying we don't have a plan, and we couldn't have a plan until we had
Yes.
to do the CFMP.
There's
That was a state requirement.
And we
Throw it
had
back
to
on the
do that.
state.
And it was a huge piece of work, and
Much more difficult than it ever has been before, and I think that 10 years down the road, we're gonna reap the benefits from it. Not now. It'll be the second community forestry management plans every 5 years.
Right.
And this was radically different than any other previous one, radically.
we hired a consultant.
Yep. And much more involved. And initially it was a real pain in the neck. But I think when the next one comes up, you're going to have recognized the mistakes, if you will. It's probably not the right word, but I'm going to use it.
It will evolve.
And then by the time the third one comes up, this thing's really going to work well. But
So some of the recommendations in that were really about focusing plantings around overburdened community parts where the canopy is thinnest and overburdened communities. And therefore, this was a council 3 years ago that didn't know what an overburdened community was, let alone that some of our areas are designated as such in the DEP, by the DEP on their website. So, we're trying to follow I was trying to follow CFMP and the recommendations we got to create this. It is certainly not a final product by any way, shape, or form, but it's a start.
well, that's
So-
why you need to get it to the council so they can read
I
it.
will.
You never know who's going to come back with a recommendation. We're all going to be like, oh, did I think of that?
Yeah, so I mean, I really, just like to get the ball rolling and to have them be instead of, saying, where is it?
Get
Get
it, do it.
feedback.
Do it.
Let's
All right,
make-
so
let's
the
make it-
process for that would be to send it to the mayor? I can do that. I can call John, tell him I'm sending it to the mayor.
I think the process for that is to ask tell Mr. Brown what you're thinking and see what he thinks of that.
Okay, he's had it, so
Well, no,
he
but-
likes it, so I will ask him. for-
Yeah,
You
but
can
let's
tell him
kick
that
it up.
the,
I want to kick it up the ladder.
Oh, yeah, I'll pick it up the chain. No
well,
worries.
tell him that the shade tree recommends that it goes to the council. How would you like us to do that? Give it to the mayor or do,
Would you like to print it out and hit him over the head, or you like?
why don't we burn it
All
in?
right, so I'll simply ask Dave. what the next-
Well,
You might break a good piece of lumber.
With the understanding that this is a rough draft.
and
It requires
I
more.
would put it all in emails. So it could be
Yay.
recorded.
Brilliant.
I know. I think that's a really good idea.
Okay.
Because the more people you can get engaged, you may get the person that's sitting over here that's like, you ever thought about doing this?
Well, and
Damn, that's a good
the
idea.
idea is not to silo what Shade Tree does. To have Shade Tree working with zoning and planning and working with the environmental commission and working with the complete streets people, because that's where there's real state money and funding if we can do this. Because the ideas that are in this plan, the Blue Acres one is easy.
Yeah.
That's just labor in-house and not cutting down some trees, fixing up a gazebo and clearing out some garbage. And mean, it's really
Well,
creating access.
the more you can do in-house, obviously, the better off you are. Well, now, I should have said this. Monmouth County Shade Tree Commission as a functioning tree entity no longer exists.
Really?
It's gone.
When did that go?
That's what we thought.
But they're so environmentally friendly, these commissioners. I say this with all sarcasm.
The
for the
shade
record.
tree, the active tree work portion of it is done. They no longer are doing any tree work. They are down to like 3 people.
Well, that explains why things sometimes look the way they do.
Well, it will all be done by the whomever has the state contract. Right now, it's Becker Tree. So that's what they're using, but the good news is the person that is looking at the work that is being proposed is my contact. So we're okay. He's already told me, if you need some, email it. Email me what the request is. You mark them the way we've been marking them for 30 years, and we'll take care of them. So we're okay, but it is gone. They are selling almost all of the equipment.
Maybe there'll be some available for.
No,
No.
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 Not through Shade Tree, but Public Works, I think.
Now here, wait a minute. See, I just trapped you. No, yes, I did. If Monmouth County
Yeah, they
couldn't
Make it
do
work.
that, Ocean Township, you're much better off just using the state contract. It's so easy because you don't have to do the maintenance on the equipment, and that, he'll tell you,
I would think their workman's comp
oh,
would be prohibited.
there's only a few people that have higher workman's comp rates than tree work.
I'm sure.
Commercial fishermen, iron workers, and the bridge painters, and we're right below them. And it's only a matter of like 75 cents, so we're right there. So if you start having guys do in-the-air tree work, even through JIF, the workman's comp rate is going to go through the damn roof.
Bill, the one thing, you're a tree guy. It's not something you're gonna send a guy to a class.
No.
And he's gonna do it.
No.
To be proficient at doing it, it's years.
Minimum 5. To sit through the CTE exam in this state years ago, 5 years worth of field tree experience before they would even recommend you to take the test.
Well, I would like the equipment that we have paid for half of from the Shade Tree Fund to be used for planting trees and doing some
Yeah,
work.
that's.
I mean,
Well,
because
the
otherwise.
only thing you can
and the
use for
maintenance.
planting trees is that little excavator. And that's a nice machine. That was a good purchase. That was a very good purchase because what that's going to let you do is clean out a lot of these water courses. And the stuff that they bought for it was designed to do that. That's good. A bucket truck.
A bucket truck.
I had another thing, Bill. Asbury Park has a little bucket truck like Ocean does.
Yeah.
Their insurance company said, since it doesn't have a cab protector, they cannot use it for tree work anymore.
I mentioned something about putting a cab shield on that.
Yeah.
That truck was purchased. And,
Right.
oh yeah, that's gonna be done.
Yeah.
That was 2 years ago.
Well, that's what the guy in Asbury told me, that they can't use it.
And guess who Asbury wants to look at their permits?
Who?
Yep.
Yours truly.
Let's get-
Yeah, the road
let's get it
department.
right.
I don't have anything more.
We
The
Yeah,
road
go
department,
ahead.
guy's doing it now.
I think we covered the various businesses that we need to do. I don't see any members of the public to comment or to entertain comments. I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll motion.
I'll second.
All right. Back
Okay.
That was easy.
Off the record, so I would love to know more about you. Where did you come
Yeah, I
from?
wanna
We got a
say, now
Smokey
that
the
this is all-
Bear.